Good morning, folks. I wanted to talk today about somebody who sent me a message about a problem that they're having with their dog, a 1.5-year-old dog. I can't remember exactly what the breed mix was. I think it was part Husky. Doesn't really matter. The problem is the opposite of loose leash walking. They have a dog that is pulling quite aggressively, not aggressive in a hostile way, but just pulling the handler, the owner, as they go to walk. And this lady has tried different things, can't get that dog to seem to walk nice at a heel position, loose leash walking. There's a lot of different reasons why this can be happening, so it's hard to diagnose and fix a problem without actually handling the dog myself and trying to understand a little bit better. One of the problems that can be occurring is that over time, over the 1.5 years that this lady has had the dog, she's allowed, even though she thinks she hasn't allowed the dog to get away with this pulling, the dog ultimately, it seems, ends up winning that battle and begins pulling to the point that the lady just can't do anything about it. Now the dog is a 1.5 years old, a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, and that pulling is a little bit harder for her to handle. So now it's becoming more of an issue for her, and it will continue to be an issue if she doesn't get it checked. If you don't fix it, you have a problem. There's two ways to handle it. One is a firm way, and one is through positive reinforcement training. And that's what we're going to try to accomplish for her, is a positive reinforcement type training, so that the dog will perform the behavior, the loose leash walking, the way they want. I don't know enough specifics, so I'm going to be guessing a little bit. I'm hoping that the dog is somewhat treat motivated. And by treat, sometimes it's not anything more than the regular dog food, that just the little pebble dog food that you might be feeding the dog could be the treat. Here, Bella. That's a treat. It doesn't necessarily have to be a really goody treat. Although some other dogs might be more finicky, and you may have to increase the desirability for a dog to perform for a treat. But what you want to do in this situation where you have a dog that's pulling is you want to take that treat. I don't know how this is coming up on a camera, and you just want to put it between your fingers. It's actually between your fingers on your left hand, because you should be heeling your dog in a loose leash walk on your left side. So you kind of put that between your fingers, maybe a little bit farther up. I hope this is coming out on the video. And you're just sort of holding it there. I don't even have a leash on Bela, but you let her know that it's there. Let her smell your hand and start walking. And you hold your hand down there. Let me get this out of the way. You hold your hand down there. As you can see, I don't even have the leash on Bela. You hold your hand down there, and your dog, no matter how excitable, and by the way, Bela just ate 5 minutes ago this same thing that I have in between my fingers. But her desire for it to have it is allowing her to perform, woo, heel. No, she's performing, and I'm giving it to her right now. I just gave it to her, and now you saw how the attention dropped off. So you need to have a few of them in your hand. That's something that they can chomp down in just a few seconds, and then continue. Let them smell your hand. Come on, heel. Now, I'm just doing this without a leash to show you how well it actually works. I don't want you to do this without a leash unless you're doing it in a confined area, like in your house. I'm in the living room of my house right now. There's just 10 feet around here. There's not much room for the dog to get away from me and get into trouble. don't do this without a leash. I always recommend having a leash, and the only reason I'm showing this training right now is to really show how well it can work. And I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave it at that right now. I am going to do another video immediately after this one where I have a little bit of a discussion about some of the, I'm going to call it psychology that you need to use with a dog. And this came up with a discussion that I had actually with my mother last night. So if you're interested, I want to cut this tape short. Hopefully this will help with Merlin. I'll wait to hear some feedback from the lady, and if that doesn't, then I'll show a little bit firmer way to try to control it and teach the dog what loose leash walking is supposed to be like. So thank you. Have a good day, and I'll be back in a minute.